everybody, and I want to welcome everyone to the first episode of The Booze Geek. My name is Charles, I'm your host, and hey, I'm your resident booze geek. Before we jump into this episode though, I kind of want to give a quick rundown of who I am and how the show is going to work. So, as I mentioned, my name's Charles, I'm an author. I write books on the history of cities as told through their pubs and breweries, on the history of brewing, on beer, all that fun stuff. But I'm also a professional taster, which I've been doing for about 15 years or so. Now, enough about me, because it's really all about the show. So how's the show going to work? Well, we're going to be tasting and reviewing booze. Of course, how obvious is that? It's mostly going to be beer, but at some point, we're going to venture into spirits, maybe sake, cigars, maybe wine or do some food pairings in here and there. But in a nutshell, it's going to be a lot of information in a short amount of time. I know everybody's busy and everybody's time is valuable, so I want to get in and get out, but I do want to throw out a lot of information in a short amount of time. That's the way it's going to work. But when we get into these beverages, we're going to be talking about their aromas, their nose, their flavor and taste profiles, and then if time permits, I'd also like to, possibly touch on, as I mentioned, maybe food pairings or some history or some trivia about the breweries or the distilleries. So with all that being said, I hope I still have your attention, but let's jump right in. Let's crack open the first beer and let's get this show on the road, of which I hope will be the first of many more episodes to come. The first beer we're going to taste and review on this episode is actually one of my personal favorites. It's from Bell's Brewing in Comstock, Michigan. Now, Bell's Brewing was actually the first craft brewery in Michigan, and they started in 1985. So, this is one of their flagship beers. This is their Two-Hearted Ale, which is actually named after the Two-Hearted River from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And this is available year-round. But this is an American IPA. It's got an ABV of 7%. It's made with 100% Centennial hops from the Pacific Northwest, and it's got an IBU of 60. So I know this episode is going to run a little bit longer because of the amount of information I'm throwing out. So I'm going to crack this open, and let's get this review started. Okay, I'm going to grab my trusted bottle opener here. Okay. Give this a pour. Very nice color on this, very nice color. It's a dark golden hue with almost a tint of amber or red in there. Let's give this a swirl and a nose. Okay, I'm getting definitely some sharp pine. There's some grass in there and a little bit of citrus, but I'm going to give it another swirl and give it a swig and see what we got going on the palate. See, this beer is great because the flavor profile actually kind of mimics the aromas. So I'm getting that sharp pine up front. It's also followed by a hint of grass. I'm getting a little bit of that citrus, a little bit of orange zest. There's a slight bit of grapefruit in this. But at the very back end, it's followed by a nice caramel sweetness from the malts. Now, I knew I'd be reviewing this beer on the first episode, and there's a reason for this. Because, as I said, I'm going to rate the beers as well. So, this beer is very well known, and it's usually rated nationwide. It's usually in the top 3 beers around the nation by various publications. But the way I rate it is I rate beverages and booze on certain scales. Color, the nose, the aromas, the flavor profile, the balance, and all that good stuff. But like this one off the bat, on my pint-o-meter, that's what I'm calling it, this is a 10 out of 10. And why is it a 10 out of 10? Well, as I just said, the balance is perfect. All these flavors, they all complement each other. You got the sweetness that's complementing, the earthy pine. You have a little bit of citrus in there. And like I said, on the nose profile, it's the same thing. Nothing is overbearing. They all, essentially flavor profiles, they want to complement each other. So there's nothing here that's really overbearing. So the balance is spot on. The color is beautiful. As I said, it's a nice dark, dark golden hue with a hint of amber. But all in all, it's just a really nice drinking beer. It's a little oily, but that's okay. It's a great beer to have on a hot summer day. It's a great beer to have, in the winter. But the point is, whatever you drink, you want to drink you drink what you like, and you drink when you like it. No one can tell you what to do. So in my book, this is a 10 out of 10. I love Bell's Brewing. It's a great beer. I want to thank everyone for putting up with me on this first episode. And like I said, I know this one ran a little bit long, but it's a lot of info. But you can follow me at the website, which is www.pubstohaveapintin.com, just like the books. Once again, shameless plug. Or the blog, which is www.pubstohaveapintin.blogspot.com. Thank you for tuning in. I want to, ask everyone, hey, come on and join in for the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this. There's more to come. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, and have a great day.